Good morning, everybody. It's Lindsay Hullison with SPS back in the building. Another SPS Monday Motivation, but this is a special day. Not just special because we woke up this morning and we can hear others' voices and see other faces, but it is a celebration of none other than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., celebrating his birthday, a federal holiday now because of the great works that he has done that all of us benefit from, changing the landscape of America, changing our hearts and minds as a country to move forward and be very progressive. So I want to recognize them today. And it's evident in today's title, SPS Monday Motivation, King and Queen Dreams Require Faith Before Favor. That's right, King and Queen Dreams require faith before favor. What is faith? We talk about it all the time. They say faith without deeds is dead. But faith is actually defined as complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Now, that's hard. We draw upon our spiritual roots or our religious convictions to help us with that. But having faith in something, you must have faith before favor. Now, favor can be looked at in different ways, but today we're going to define favor as what God stepping into a situation and make it worthwhile and make a difference. I know I have a diverse group of people who listen to my broadcast with diverse views. So you may not look at God in that way. You may look at the universe. You may have other things that lead you. But also favor means can also be, as I say, have a little thing here. Faith is complete trust and confidence in someone or someone else. But favor refers to God being able to step in. Favor can also be referred to as an exceptional kindness and privilege from God. So what I'm getting at is you got to have the faith before the favor. I was listening to Earl Nightingale here earlier this morning. If you really want to stay motivated with some timeless words, you listen to Earl Nightingale on YouTube. He's been known as the father of self-improvement, and he talks about these simple things. Before metal is cast, the mold must be made. So before you talk about something you're trying to do and accomplish, you have to curate the space for it to live, right? Before a building can be erected, the excavation of the foundation has to take place. That's right. Before these tall skyscrapers go up, you have to go down deep in the ground and build and create that foundation. And also, before you can get the life you want, you must become that individual. So you got to think about that. We talk about kings and queens, and what better images to show other than Dr. Martin Luther King. But let's talk about kings. We talk about Spanish Moors when they left Northern Africa, invaded Spain, and brought things like technology, chemistry, and all these things. We have beautiful queens that we can look at, a better image of ourselves despite what we see daily going forward. How do you think of yourself inside? You may be that alpha type female ruling your kingdom going forward. You may have generations and other beautiful women in your life. I'm not talking about just physical beauty, but how you're thinking a queen like. Or we look at the mainstream vision of a king. We see our good friend Eddie Murphy right here in Coming to America 2, and how he represented that in such a mainstream fashion. So what I'm getting at, folks, is if you have thoughts of being king-like or queen-like, you must have faith before favor. Be sure of what you want, what we hope for, and certain of what we do not see. Being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So you can have all these dreams and aspirations, but if you don't live that life prior to it, won't happen. You can't say, when I get it, I'll be this. You have to be this before you get it. Again, you can't say, when I get it, I'll be this. You have to be it before you get it. I want to give a special shout out to the Spratt family. Shout out to D. Spratt, Tony Spratt, as well as Tyler Spratt. That's D. Spratt over at the Horatio Williams Foundation, showing love to SPS. We got Young Fly Fashion making their way on the scene, and Urban Grill, and I'll be sharing more information about them. Go support Urban Grill, 14501 Finkel in Detroit. Get you some lobster rolls, some burgers, steak sandwiches, and much, much more. This family is well-traveled, so they take all the experience they have from traveling the world and bring it back to the heart of Detroit to help. Then they got this great young man, Prince in Waiting, Tyler Spratt, rocking this young, fly fashion young man over at North Farmington High School. I'll be with him and his team on Friday, supporting them. Hey, but this is what the future holds. Young fly, they are believing in themselves. They're having faith before they receive the favor. They're stepping out there. They're not waiting for someone to come and say, here's an opportunity. They're creating opportunities. What a model, what an example. And if you need to look for an example that's been time tested, look at none other than Dr. King. When he got out there prior to the March of Washington, he believed that society can change for the better. We didn't see it then. He moved people. He moved them with his words. He moved them with his speeches. He moved them with his actions, the actions of nonviolence in a violent world. And before he even gave the speech in Washington, the iconic I Have a Dream speech, he gave that same speech in the city of Detroit. My mother was there on Woodward Avenue. We did a commemoration years ago with Reverend Wendell Anthony. We remember that march took place downtown Detroit, and when he spoke, and so many heard those messages. So what I'm getting at, folks, is that we can take the legacy of Dr. King and use his approach to the world of focusing on faith before favor. You think about that on this day as you enjoy the hard work that he's laid. We still see this legacy today. Shout out to Horatio Williams with the Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, the Freedom Classic, to be able to take the work that he's done and put that with something positive. You got to have the faith before favor. Speaking of Horatio, shout out to my guy. I remember years ago when I was in corporate America, a corporate lobbyist for Walmart with $3 million to spread around. And I saw something in this young man buying his own building and being able to invest, not looking for other people to help him, but make things happen on his own going forward. Is very appreciative of all the things that he's done. You got to have faith before favor, folks. You got to believe it before you see it. And I know it may be hard because we live in a world with so many negative images going forward. But remember this, before you can get heat from a fire, you got to chop the wood. Before you can sit and get the warmth of what that fire brings, you got to go out and chop the wood. You have to have the faith and believe in it before you get the favor. Look at this. You must believe before you can become. You have to believe it before you can become. And those things require us to look at our circle sometimes. Those things require us to look at what our diet is, not just the food we eat, but the images, the thoughts, the music, the sounds that we put inside our body. And I'm not here passing judgment on anything, but you want to filter things. If you're trying to get somewhere, you got to do the work before you get there. You can't just show up. Shout out to my guy, Juan Rickman, coach over at Ferndale High School. Shout out to those guys. We'll be spending some time with those guys soon. He said, look, man, if you're traveling from Detroit and you're trying to get to Chicago, which is about a 4-hour trip, 4.5-hour trip, depending on where you are, you can't get up at 9 talking about I'm going to be there at 12. See, you got to have faith in knowing that this is a requirement for you to do something. And what do you need to do that? I know it's hard because if you've been getting beat down and had these negative thoughts all the time, it's hard for you to think about how you're going to change things. But just start with today. Start being present in the moment. When this moment, when you're watching this, listen to this, you are in control. This is the moment that you can handle this moment. Don't let the burden and the anxiety come in for thinking about what has to happen a day from now, a week from now, a month from now. Just win this moment. Control this moment. And in this moment right here, it can change so many things going forward. I live it myself, and I'm a living example of it. And I try to stay present in the moment, though I have thoughts of what I want the future to be, what I'm working on. But staying present in the moment gives me the right kind of attitude to be able to come towards you and say that. So I won't keep you guys too much longer on this day. I want to shout out Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and what he has done for us, where we are as a society, not only as the African-American community benefited, not only as people of a low socioeconomic status benefited, the world has benefited from the work and great sacrifice of Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's amazing, it's ironic that that fateful day, that tragic day, I should say, that he died, he was killed. He was in Memphis helping sanitation workers, helping people who have to put in the work, literally, people who have to haul the trash, the people who would be considered the lowest dregs of working society. And he was there to help them and sacrifice his life during that time. So he sacrificed his life for us all to benefit, almost Christ-like. Not being blasphemous, but he sacrificed his life for so many to benefit. So whatever challenge you have going on to reach your goals, what could it really be in comparison to what people have done to pave the way for you? And forgive yourself if yesterday wasn't your best day. Forgive yourself if, a moment ago wasn't your best moment. But be focused on what's present. Be focused on what's positive. And lastly, as I get out of here with 10 minutes approaching, also know you have to have faith before you can receive the favor. You guys have been great. Wish you all the best. See you later in the week. And I appreciate your support in SPS.